We're going to paint a cold winter scene on this 18 by 24 inch canvas, okay, in oil paints. Okay, so I'm going to take a dry brush and we're just going to dip it into a little bit of paint thinner, okay, just paint thinner, and then into some Prussian blue, okay, and then I'm going to hit the whole canvas with this, just coat the whole thing just to give it a blue tint, okay, just to tint the canvas. I don't really want anything more than a little bit of blue up there so we can put some nice colours on, but I want the paint thinner to evaporate, okay? So while I'm coating this and bringing you up to the canvas, please like the video and subscribe. Happy days. So I'll give the blue enough time to dry, about 20-25 minutes, and I'm lightly sketching in where I think a mountain range will go, and I know we want some kind of big evergreen tree up here, somewhere in the foreground, maybe a path. I don't know, I haven't finished the sketch yet. I'm just putting in a little bit of a light grey colour so we know what to work with. It's going to be a lot of snow, a lot of blues, a lot of whites, and a lot of stonework as well up here. I don't know if it's going to be a crisp, clean day or a misty, snow-fally kind of day. We don't know yet until the composition starts to take place, and that's the beauty of painting. You just got a rough idea and you just float with it, don't you? Anyway, join me in about 2 seconds time where we'll see where this sketch takes us, and then we'll start doing some decent painting. Right, I don't know if we're going to have the house there or the little cosy cottage, but that's the general sketch. Little path there, trees, mountains, the usual stuff. Right, what I've done is I've taken a little bit of titanium white, Prussian blue and red, and a touch of the oil. Okay, all the thinners has evaporated from the canvas, and I'm just going to slap some of this on with a palette knife. Okay, just pick some up, slap it on. Okay, actually I just wanted to clean the palette knife, but it got going pretty well. Okay, let's use this same brush. I've dried it anyway, and I'm just gonna throw this in up there. Nice murky looking sky, and if any of this blue shows through, that's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. I've got a stronger colour as well, which I'll use for the top of the sky, which is just the same colour but with less white in it. In fact, I think we'll use this kind of colour throughout the composition, so we'll get a nice greyy, you know, bluey, cold colour, and that's what we're going to do. But I just want to get this horizon line done right up to the mountain edge, the tip of the mountains and stuff like that, and just throw that in there like so. So we'll grade that off somewhat. Okay, now a bit of that stronger colour, you see as it is, so you can see it's got a bit of purpley reddy colour in there as well. So there's lots of cold colours going on. I don't want it to be completely cool, so it's got a nice purpley tone to the top with that stronger colour. And as the legend, that is Bob Ross, would say, you don't need your coat on to look at it, and that's exactly what we don't want. We don't want it to feel uncomfortable. So that little bit of warmth there will just beautiful stuff. Okay, do we put some clouds on? I think we do, so I'm going to grab a fan brush. Okay, I'm going to use a bit of titanium white and some of this grey colour just to float in some big clouds. So just going to touch on like this, really randomly, but bushy or floaty or full. That's a better word. Full clouds. Okay, a bit of white, a bit of that grey colour. Don't go straight in with titanium white. I don't want any white to show on the canvas unless it is pure titanium white where I want it to be, for, let's say, lots of snow down in the foreground. But for now, up in the clouds and stuff like that, I just want a little bit of something like this. Of course, we'll blend some of the base out. We may even shadow the base out as well. But we might even float some clouds right over the mountains when the time comes. So just like this there. And you don't have to go like, I can't see that cloud properly. Sometimes they blend into the sky, and that's quite all right. You see, it's happening here already. It's happening already. Anyway, right, like that. And then I'm going to take a blender brush, which is just very soft, and then just tease the base of that out like so. You can use any kind of brush if you want. I just like using these soft brushes, like a little bit of a makeup brush really. And they're not expensive, but do give them a fair good wash and a whack a few times first, or you end up losing a load of bristles on your composition, and sometimes that's not desirable. Sometimes it's okay, but I hit that there. Sometimes it's not desirable. See, I'll get rid of that at some point. There we go. Just lift up. Happy days, yeah? Just tap and lift up. So I've just put a basic far mounting up there, a little bit of dark colour for shadow, a little bit of light colour for highlight, something that you probably won't see unless you look for it. And again, I'm just teasing some of this cloud work over the top of this, so it's all misty and far away. Okay, let's work on this big old beast in this here. So again, I'm just going to use a little bit of this purpley colour. I may go a little bit darker. I may. Anyway, I'm just going to throw some lines of shadow and rock work and things like that. I may get a bit of brown involved with this as well. Let's take it up there a little bit. Again, because it's dry, we can plough it on, move it about, blend it in, and tease it all about. But I want it to be quite soft and misty, maybe clouds coming across here as well. See, I put a little bit of lighter colour on there as well. That's just the cloud colour, just thicker. All right, so just throw this in. And again, if we get some of this blue shining through, yeah, it will give a nice little bit of something there as well. I've really done the mountain line just there. It's getting on my nerves, that part. It was looking a little too prominent. Anyway, so I've put some of this stuff on for the rock work of this big mountain, and I've taken a little bit of Prussian blue and the sky colour and white, and I'm just picking out some shadows in the snow just on a little rounded brush, and we'll just bob some of these in just like that. Just pick them out. Okay, you don't want, I don't know, do we want to go mental and put loads on? Possibly, because it's a snow scene, but I just want to put a little bit on, take a step back, see where the lay of the land works, and just paint some snow in around these stones. Okay, little paint, not a lot of thick paint just yet. It's thick paint that we're painting with, but not a great deal of paint. We just want to zigzag some bits and pieces around here, and of course make it darker in places and a little bit lighter in places, because even shadows have deeper shadows and highlights. So just push that in there. We want a little bit of snow covered down there as well. See, very little paint goes a long way, especially when you've got a stained canvas. Okay, we've got another something coming over there, so I'm not too fussed about that. And of course I want this mountain to look a little bit what's the word, fuzzy, because if it's far enough away, or if there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, you're going to get fuzzy mountains. That looks like a good area to sneak a floaty cloud right over the top, so we'll just leave that as it is for the moment. There, like that. And I might wipe this with a rag just to even dull it down even more. So I'm just floating some of this browny coloured rock work down the side of this mountain, just like that. Some of this blue undertones will show through, obviously, like that. We've got a distant one there as well, and we'll have a bigger, stronger one coming down there, as something like that. Right, let's grab a little softer brush, bit of titanium white and blue, just a tiniest amount of blue, and we can start picking out some of the highlights on this mountain. Okay, and of course, this, even though I say this blue's dry, it will have the thinnest layer of blue on, which will, if you keep blending, will mix into a paler blue. So anyway, I'm just gonna, and I'm using a little tiny soft brush, old acrylic brush to be honest, just to give us some snow work. I can layer it on without scraping anything off. Just work on that. It's really easy, but it is kind of time consuming. You want to blend the top as well, because the top wants to be softer and fuzzier than because it's far away and there's a lot of mist in the sky, if that makes sense. Good stuff, good stuff. I'm liking it. I hope you guys are liking it as well. And I want to really start to carve out this area here. Okay, leave a little gap, obviously, where the mist is, but we want just to carve this out. Now I will rub some of this in and away. Maybe that comes up there as well, break that straight line off, just like so, and then we can just start throwing in some paint and some colour up there as well, and then we can work on all kinds of things up here before we put the tree line in. We seem to have lost this little house, and I don't think we'll have a house there anymore. These mountains have grown on us. What I'm doing is just taking a lint-free tissue and I'm just rubbing off some excess paint and oil and stuff like that with this big cliff face coming down, and just getting rid of some of that just there, like so. A sketch, you can still make out little bits and pieces of it, but it's there, and that just goes off into nothing up there. I'm gonna grab, I think I might grab a fan brush. Let's just get that out. Where, what's this got on it? Bit of everything. Okay, maybe touch of green into whatever's on this, and yeah, we might put a little bit of tree colour, just a touch of tree colour. Okay, if we're gonna have green trees here, we need green trees right back over here, but not vivid green. Remember, they're in the shadows here, the sun's over there, so we'll just have a few squiggles of tree colour and follow the line of the cliff face as well, and then just tease them in. You know, if you don't like them, just blend them away. I think that's it. We might even change the path. I said we didn't know what we're doing, and we sure don't know what we're doing. So here's how a painting develops and quite quickly turns into something completely different from your original idea. The original idea was trees, a couple of distant mountains, maybe a little wooden shack or something like that. But those mountains and that, especially this cliff range there, has just crept really on top of us. So I'm pushing it back. So I've got a little tree line there, but I want something to separate. Now, I could have a big bank of snow or something like that, but I think instead of a path going round, I think we'll just put some water in there. So oldish kind of brush. Well, it's not old, but it will be by the end of this composition, by the time we keep rubbing at it. Okay, and I think that will be a nice little shoreline. So we're going to have some water there. Now, where we're going to be stood, that water is going to be a very slim, thin slip of water in regards to the composition. However, it means it's quite far away as well. You know, the over to the other side will be quite far away, which will give us chance to get some decent sized trees at this side. Okay, if we're trying to make the water really big, thick, like a big thick bar of water across there, then it means that we're stood up, and it just all goes to pot, doesn't it? You know, if you've ever gone to the beach and you stand on the beach and you actually have a look out to sea, you can only see a really thin slip of water, but you'll know at the other side of that as far as I can see, must be miles and miles, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Anyway, so I'll just put in some darker blues and stuff like that. Again, we're going to have the trees here, so we're not too fussed about this area as such, but I just want something in there. I'm going to grab my big, massive monster filbert brush. I don't know if you can see this. It's worn out on one side rather than the other, and that's because I just keep holding it and rubbing away. I'm just going to grab some white now, titanium white, And of course, it's going to pick up that blue that I've just put straight on there. So I'm using the canvas as a palette to mix the paint rather than down on the palette itself. And I'm just going to push this in because this is where our water is going to be. Alright, so just like so. And use this nice stiff hog hair bristles. Really push it in, push it about. Now, obviously, we might have to sort out that line there, but that's something we can do. We can do anything, can't we? We may give it a bit of a wipe with a rag as well, just to give it a little bit of what for. Let's just do that. Okay, bit of a rag, give it a wipe. That'll take it down, not to bare canvas, but almost, with the staining on there, and that's almost similar colour to what we've got upstairs. Okay, like that. Try just to manipulate where I want some of the branches to be. Okay, just something like this, and maybe something on the opposite side. Doesn't have to be perfect yet. It's just a guide. Okay, just to give us a little bit of a sense of scale. And I very much doubt that we're going to put any Christmas decorations on this particular tree yet. But you can see I've really adapted the road. It's going to come round here, go down into this like kind of valley, and where off it needs to go. So maybe this comes here. Let's grab some of this colour, and that is another place where we'll have probably a bigger tree. But if we get the shadow colours in, the highlights just work for themselves with snow, right? Okay. So you can see I've worked on this tree here, and it's kind of give us an indication of what we need to do over on the trees on this side, and I probably will put another tree there or something. Right, so a little bit of viridian and blue and the sky colour and white, and we'll just throw in the basics of the tree just down here. Now we're going to probably have this large one probably right out in the foreground. Might push this lot back, so just keep picking up some of that colour, and what we'll do is we'll pop it on, put the colour on, and then we can knock it back with a lint-free tissue, and then had the shadows and the highlights and any other mid-tones that we need to place on this big old evergreen tree, this Christmassy kind of tree. Some snow and all sorts. Just get the base colour in for the moment, and I may put one over there. I want some boulders and stuff like this down here as well. Just old fan brush, just flick them out, and then we'll work on individual leaves. A bit more blue there, shadowy side. All this stuff's in the background, so we're not too fussed about that. I'm using black, viridian, Prussian blue, and what else have I got? A little bit of brown in there, I think, as well, for the extreme shadows on this tree. And all I'm doing, the same as what I did on the highlight side, is just touch with a script brush or a liner brush or thin brush, whatever brush you've got going, really, with virtually a couple of hairs on, just to really tease these shadows into the composition. And you will have shadows on the highlight side, and you will have highlights on the shadow side. That's just the nature of an escape like this. Anyway, just keep playing like this. The more you touch and the more you blend with the brush, the more it'll pick up the blues that are underneath as well. You can, in fact, I might just try, just tap on the blender brush. It will knock the harshness off the paint. If you see it happening there. Or you could just hit it with a lint-free tissue, and that'll do exactly the same thing. I'm just going to put a bit of snow down here in the path, just like this. Just there where the highlight will be on the snow. Just blend it in, take it across. We've got the shadow there, so we've got the highlight on this side as well. Just jiggle it around the grasses, the tundra that's possibly coming out of the snow there, and and stuff like that. And I think we've got a nice finished mountain painting. Well, I've really enjoyed this one. It's pretty nice, I think. If you enjoyed this one, give it a big old thumbs up. Leave me a nice big comment as well. And if you want to do so, please hit that subscribe button. It does help out and it's free to do. But until next time, take care of yourself. Stay safe. Happy days.